In this video, we are going to look into Judith Butler's gender performativity in Rudhramadevi and Daya. About the theorist. Judith Butler is a famous American feminist philosopher and gender theorist. She was born in 1956 in Cleveland, Ohio, USA. She coined the term gender performativity in her 1990 book, Gender Trouble. Judith Butler's gender performativity suggests that gender is not a fixed identity. It is not something determined during birth, but a performance. Butler suggests that gender roles are socially constructed. A person's masculinity or femininity is not an inherent trait, but rather enacted through repeated behaviors and actions. Real life examples of gender performativity can be seen when someone speaks, boys don't cry, or sit like a lady. These are what suppresses a person's natural traits and they are forced to act in a certain ways to be socially acceptable. The film Daya, released in 1998, directed by Venu Isaac, is about a slave girl who is forced to perform like a man for her survival. Daya is a clever, witty woman whose wit is tested throughout the movie. Being a woman, she was expected to be docile and vulnerable. As a woman, she was seen as weak and a prey to the society's attack, forcing her to cross dress and behave as a man for survival. When Daya shows her wit as a woman, she is put into test because of her biologically identifying as a woman. And when she passes the test, she is offered the place of king's woman, which she politely refuses. Later, she is abducted by a dacoit and then a thief, which forces her to take up the role of man for her survival. When Daya showcases her wit as a man, she is easily accepted by the society. She is offered the role of the minister in the court. This is a stark contrast to how she was treated when she is a woman. This showcases that how society attributes leadership quality towards men and how it is easily acceptable. When Daya's identity as a woman is revealed, the people around her at first resist and ridicule the idea of a woman being minister because it's not the traditional practice and they accepted her as the minister because they were under the impression that Daya is a male and her performance as a male is accepted because of her behavior, clothing, and speech. At the end, the society accepts Daya as a female minister. They come to the conclusion that
മന്ത്രിയുടെ
clothing
ബുദ്ധിയും
really
ഹൃദയവുമാണ്
doesn't
ഞങ്ങളെ
matter.
ഭരിച്ചത്. അത്
This
ഞങ്ങൾക്ക് എന്നും
emphasizes the
ആവശ്യമാണ്.
fact that how gender roles are socially constructed. The film portrays gender as a tool of survival rather than identity. Now, coming to the next film, Rudhramadevi. Rudhramadevi is a biopic released in 2015, directed by Gunashekhar. The film is based on the life of Rudhramadevi, who was one of the most prominent rulers of Kakatiya dynasty. Rudhrama was born a girl, but she was raised as a male and named Rudradeva. She had to perform masculinity in order to be accepted as a ruler. The biological sex of Rudhrama, being a female, was even hidden from her. She only got to know about her real sex when she hit puberty. This instance shows how gender is not innate, it's what we perform. When Rudhrama's biological identity is revealed, the people who praised her as a king turn against her because of the notion that women can't rule. But when Rudhrama defeats the enemy, the people are willing to have a woman ruler. The film ends with a little girl ascending the throne. This instance emphasizes how social acceptance is what creates gender roles and gender. Both the film Daya and Rudhramadevi asserts how gender is performative and its functions to please the societal norms. Both the main leads in the films were biologically female. They both were accepted in their male roles not because of their innateness, rather because how convincingly they have performed themselves as males. These women had to perform masculinity in order to have access to space and positions that otherwise would be denied to them because of their biological sex. These films re-emphasize Butler's idea that gender is not a fixed identity but is socially constructed.